Hey everybody, it's Mary at Yard Art RS. I hope you guys are having a great day. I am going to work on painting this He Is Risen Easter cross. Now I'm Windexing it because I base coated it in white, and I'm Windexing because if I don't, there's lots of I don't know, dust, particles, pollen, all that kind of stuff that gets on here, and paint doesn't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and Windex the heck out of this, and of course wipe that Windex off, and then I'm going to be ready to go. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. The weather's pretty awesome. It's Sunday afternoon, but you know what? I have had a pretty decent day. It's been a little bit cloudy here, and we kind of needed some sun, but I see the sun is coming out now. So I'm going to start with gray. This is our number 24 gray, and it is, I'm going to start with that number 24 gray. It's kind of a light gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stir. Put a little bit of water in there, and then I am ready to pick up my flat tip brush, and that's this thing right here. Here's my flat tip brush, right? Can y'all see it real good? And I'm just gonna start shading the cross part. Now, the sash is gonna be a solid color, and it's gonna be different than what I've got in my hand right now, but that's okay. So, I'm gonna just take that brush, and I'm gonna just go around the perimeter. Now, I'm seeing I've got some other paint in this brush, so I'm gonna have to wash it out again. And, but that's all right. I just been over here and washed it out. And I am going to start again. Let's try this again. So what I do when I'm shading is I just kind of usually always start around the perimeter. That's a good place to start. And I am going to kind of turn this thing around. This is a, we have this blank available. The one I'm doing is a little bit larger than the actual blank that's available. But I wanted to show you, and Ashley's already painted that one and given a tutorial on it, and she did it in like a wood grain look. And I'm going to kind of just do it in a white and gray painted look. So I'm going to take this number 24 gray and just kind of make some little, notice I'm kind of doing this way. I'm gonna go down vertically. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this and shade around the whole cross. Hey, how are y'all today? Hope you're having a good day. And I'm having a pretty good day. It's pretty weather outside. I think it's fair to say that spring is probably here, so that's always a good thing. Maybe we can kind of forget about all the ice storms and all that kind of stuff. So I've got my gray on my cross. Somehow I got paper towel in my paint, y'all. I'm not sure how I did that. And you can see that it just doesn't take really not long at all just to kind of make some random brush strokes here, there, and yonder, right? Whatever that means, here, there, and yonder. I just kind of put them wherever I think the eyeball would like to see them. So I've got that 24 gray. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my letters now. He is Risen letters. And those letters can be any color you want, really. I think what I'm gonna do is, typically when it comes to lettering, I tend to like the navy blue. So I'm gonna try it in that. Hold on a second. Let's see. I know I'm gonna do my sash in purple. And because I'm going to do my sash in purple, I'm not wanting two cool colors on here at the same time. Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? I can't see any comments. Let me just touch this and see if I have any. It's not showing me any, so I'm not sure. No, I don't need more ways to go live. I know how to go live. Let's X that out. Okay, well, maybe there aren't any. So I thought about doing this in navy, the navy blue, but the more I think about it, since I'm going to do a purple sash, a ribbon, or whatever you want to call it, scarf, I think what I'll do is this. Sounds kind of weird, but I am a fan of doing yellow and purple. So I'm going to do my letters in yellow. And if I think my letters are too light against that yellow, against the white background. Oh, hey Zelma, I'm painting, let me kind of put it here where you can see it. I'm painting a He Is Risen Easter cross. It's one, the one I'm painting is larger than the blank that Ashley showed y'all how to paint, but it's the same pattern. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this in front of you guys. Some of you may not have already painted yours. Some of you may have, who knows? But if you haven't painted yours and you don't want to go the wood look, you can always, the cool thing about it is you can do this and you can just go what I call the painted look. So Ashley's done this tutorial and she did it with the reindeer brown and warm brown wood grain look with the dry brushing. I'm doing the same exact one for you guys. It is just in a painted, what I would call a painted versus a wood grain look. It's just a total painted look. I like yellow and purple together. I've always been a fan of that. And I'm gonna make this sash purple. So I'm going to do my letters in yellow. And I think what I might do if I think they need it and it's possible that they will, I can always come back and highlight or outline these yellow letters in shading yellow to make them kind of give them a pop. I could always do that if I feel like that the white and the yellow aren't enough of a contrast. So we'll see what I think. Who knows what's gonna happen, but hey, I'll probably end up doing that and just outlining or at least putting a little bit of shade on them some way with the yellow, shading yellow. But I wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what you could do if you didn't want to do the brown look. That's the cool thing about crosses. They can just be, I've seen them over the years done so many different ways and they all work. So I am just putting a lot of paint on. This is actually I think a number 8 script liner that I have. And I don't use it very often, but you can tell I'm getting a lot of paint on here. Hope you can tell. Let me do it this way. Turn this thing around this way. Try not to. This thing is so long. I'm having a hard time, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna try to put it there. Okay, so hopefully you can see. So, Zelma, what have you been painting? I know you've been buying some stuff from us. I know you're a painting crazy person. You probably have been doing Easter and spring stuff. That's what most of us have been doing. Although, here lately, I've tried to spend a lot of time outdoors getting my Christmas stuff. I try to do certain things this time of year because it's so hot here in July and August. You'll just nearly go crazy trying to keep your sanity in that heat outside. But in the springtime, it's pretty doggone bearable. So I've been doing a lot of Christmas stuff outside, a lot of joys, tall reindeer, silhouette reindeer, angels, all that sort of thing. I've been doing a lot of that. Okay, so I've just about got my S finished, and all I'm doing is just filling in those letters with my paint. Hey Patty, how are you? Zelma says she's been doing a ladybug, Easter eggs, and sunflowers. Yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it? Patty, I'm assuming you've been painting as well. Tell me what you've been painting. I've been painting lots of stuff, but I've been working over at our store for trying to get that paint party room ready. And so I've been doing a lot of that. And usually this is our slow time. Well, I don't know if slow time is the right word, but it's not as crazy. But this year it's been tough, y'all, because we've had a lot of remodeling going on. And so you know how that is. Your stuff is thrown everywhere. You can't find what you're looking for. You know, Bruce and I argue about he wants to do it one way and I want to do it another. And so it has been kind of interesting, I'll put it to you that way. So I forgot my H up here, but you can already see my yellow, right? I've got that yellow. If I don't like enough contrast between my yellow and white, I can always come back and outline it or highlight it in the shading yellow, which I'll probably end up doing. Who knows what I'm gonna do? And then I am gonna do that sash in purple. I'll base coat it in light and I'll show you, it's really, really easy to do. I'll shade it in purple, dark shading purple. And that's all I'll do with that, really. There's not much to it. Usually you can, you know, I have painted for so many years. And I've done things, I don't know, how can you say? I've done them the complicated way because I didn't know any better. I've done them the non-complicated way, that kind of thing. And really, the older I get, the more I think about, it's just probably better to do it in the most non-complicated fashion that you can. Hey, Wanda, how are you? Hey, Kathy, how are y'all? I hope you're having a good day. Y'all tell me what you've been painting on. I've been painting on Christmas. I'm painting this guy just so I can show you guys an example. Ashley's already done this one, right? And but I wanted to show you guys. I have one here that I've been meaning to paint, and y'all, Easter's going to be over if I don't get my tail in gear. So I'm going to show y'all what He Is Risen Cross is going to look like. Just a painted look. Ashley did the wood grain look. So y'all see I got a lot of paint there, right? I got a lot of paint there, but that's just kind of what I did. So, and I'm going to work that paint back and forth. And I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'll probably blow dry it a little bit and show y'all some purple shading on here. But first of all, we got to get this down. And it don't take long. Debbie, how are you? I hope you're doing good, girl. I'm glad you sent me that message about somebody going live this morning. I don't know. I guess people, Ashley said she thinks sometimes it's people make it, they don't mean to necessarily go live on our page. I guess maybe I'm just dumb and don't know enough about it, but I wouldn't go live on anybody's page without their permission. I just wouldn't do that. Okay, so I've got my purple sash and I'm using just the light shading purple. Kathy says she's finishing all the Easter projects, the basket, the card, the gnomes, the peeps. Debbie says she's just finally getting back to painting. Yeah, it is that time of year. And you know, Easter falls so early this year, y'all. We have had a heck of a time. I always do better as far as producing stuff if Easter falls late, but y'all, it falls really early this year. So we've had to kind of kick it in gear around here. I don't know. I think the older I get, the faster time goes by. And what the heck? I don't remember it going by that fast when I was in like a teenager or in my 20s, which was a long time ago, y'all, but I don't remember time going by that fast. I remember when I was a kid, somebody would say, oh, well, that's in 6 months. And I think 6 months? That's forever. 6 months? That's never going to get here. And now somebody says, well, that'll be in 6 months. I'm like, ooh, that's not very long, y'all. That's not very long. So I'm painting this guy, trying to hurry up and get him out to the shop before people stop by on Easter, you know. And we were really busy yesterday. I did a live yesterday. I think it was yesterday. No, maybe it was Friday, whatever day it was. And really just kind of showing off our metal art and our paint room and all that kind of stuff. Not necessarily yard art. And I don't know, we had a lot of people come in yesterday. And a lot of them said, so-and-so saw this on Facebook, or I saw it on Facebook. They sent me over here, or I'm here. So I did that Friday. And sometimes y'all, I don't know if y'all, everybody's different, I guess, but sometimes I'm up to going live and sometimes I'm just not. I like going live here with you guys because I'm doing something that is in a pretty controlled environment. And it's something that I've done for years. And so I feel so comfortable doing that. But when I have to go live out there on the page, on our main retail store page, and I'm out there tromping around and there's customers everywhere, you just don't know what's gonna happen. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spend a little time putting some shading yellow on these letters because I don't think there's enough contrast between the yellow and the white. But watch what happens when I put some shading yellow around there. And it's not really dry, but we're just gonna pretend that it is and go from there. So I'm gonna take my number 14 shading yellow. Hey y'all, I gotta show y'all one day. One day I'm gonna do a live and y'all can see, just to show y'all my painting room. I got it all organized. Back in January, I don't know what I was thinking. I had been wanting to reorganize. So the room that I paint in is, I have a smaller house. I have a house that was built in 1964. Now we have totally remodeled it, you know, everything's been remodeled and all that kind of stuff. But it is a smaller house. And so this painting room that I'm in was originally a 2-car garage. And in 2009, Bruce ripped out the garage and made this my painting room. We call it my art room. So what happened to StreamYard? So here's the thing on StreamYard. I've kind of had to rethink that, Debbie. I have, I'll still be using it. I'm not using it today right now because it requires 2 cell phones. And so, and Bruce is not here. Hey, Victoria. So since he's not here, I couldn't do it today. But I like StreamYard, and y'all let me know if y'all like it better when I use StreamYard. The thing about StreamYard though is some of the, I guess now because we do so many lives, Facebook, and some of the things they send me, I hate to say it, I don't think I'm smart enough to ascertain what it is they're trying to tell me. But Facebook had sent me some notifications about StreamYard that they're not going to, they didn't say, their algorithm is now changing if you use StreamYard, is what I'm trying to say. So, they suggested to not use StreamYard for a little while and see how, and pay attention to my insights. So, what I got from that was, if you want the algorithm to show everybody what you're doing, don't use StreamYard. But I got several ladies looking in on that for me to see if that is indeed the case. And y'all, I don't know. Sometimes I just think, what the heck? How can I be so dumb? I just feel that way sometimes because I have 2 ladies that help me make decisions about, you know, social media and all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about it and we'll come up with a game plan. And then, I'm not kidding, 2 weeks later, they want to come back and change the game plan. Y'all, I'm not wanting to change that quick. I'm like, wait a minute. We said we were going to do it this way. And they're like, but Facebook's making changes. And they're Facebook, so that's what they get to do. And we just kind of follow along. So the jury right now is out on the StreamYard, which today I couldn't use it because Bruce is visiting his dad, is in the hospital. And so I don't have his cell phone, so I couldn't use it today. But I liked StreamYard because I felt it was a really easy way to go live in several different places. And it was a dual camera view to show, you know, obviously this view, but I have this thing up here that would show, yeah, it does, Debbie. Are you shading? Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Zelma. I just have this flat tip brush, script liner. I think this one's a number 4. And I am just taking that script liner, dipping it in the paint, and going all around that CNC, or right in the middle of that CNC line, if you will. Trying to, think of it as trying to cover the CNC line. That's basically what I'm doing. It's just covering that line with some this. But you can see, and it doesn't, I mean, it is more time. It takes more time to sit here and do this. I mean, that's obvious, but I'm gonna hold this up so you can see. Now, if you look at, do you see the difference in the R and the I? Risen, R is outlined using that shading yellow. I haven't done it yet. So there is a big difference as far as making it, quote, pop. But this is a very simple design, so it doesn't take long. Debbie says, you liked it? Okay, good. Thank you, Debbie. I liked it too, because sometimes when I go back and watch the videos, I would be like, what the heck? The view is so clear, you know? And that's really what it's about, as far as I'm concerned, is getting the view to be as user-friendly so it shows up for you guys, showing, you know, exactly what I'm doing. Obviously, I talk during a live, and I talk all the time, but talking and somebody seeing what I'm doing are 2 different things. I might can describe it, but when somebody sees it exactly as I do it, that helps a lot. So I'm going to just come in here and go like so. And so, you know, I was doing a live at the store on Friday, just walking around the property, showing all kinds of metal art and stuff. And I have to be mic'd up because, you know, outdoors, if you don't wear, like I'll put a mic right here, and there's a wire going from the mic to the camera. If you don't, outside, all the noises like winds and cars passing by and all of that really distort. It's hard for the viewer to hear because there's so much background noise. But try walking around a place like ours, which by the way is kind of torn up right now because we're making some changes out in the yard, and not fall over anything, and hold this stupid wire from my mic to the camera and sound like I'm speaking intelligently. Hey Jennifer, how are you? Yeah, it was windy, Debbie. But it's kind of like when I do those outside, I really have to mic up, and because if not, all you're gonna hear is just, you know, that kind of thing. So, and I really don't necessarily enjoy doing those, but you know, it is what you just do what you have to do, because it does really help folks kind of see, you know, oh, they got this in or they got that in or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna show you this. And I think if you could see those letters, all I did was take that shading yellow with a script liner and cover the CNC line. So what I'm gonna do now is I did the gray and the number 24 gray, and then I mixed some gray with black. Put a little bit of water in there. I'm fixing to outline this white on the, or I'm sorry, I'm gonna outline this cross, the white cross. So I put a little bit of water in there. And when I look at this, yes, I'm wanting to make sure my shading is in a light gray and my outlining is in a dark gray. So I am doing that right now. I'm gonna put a lot of paint on here. I'm using a script liner, okay? And I'm just gonna take this script liner and go all up and down where I have my light gray. And then I'll take my script liner and I will just kind of lightly put a little bit of dark gray on top of the light gray brushstroke shading part, whatever you want to call it. So, you come over here so you guys can see it a little better. Okay. So, I'll come over here and I'm just going around that light gray. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take my brush and I'll pick it up and I'll just kind of lightly go here, pick it up, do like that, pick it up, do like that, almost like a dotted line, or not a dotted, a dash, you know? And I'll come over here with this dark gray and I'll get on top of that light gray just a little bit. I don't want to cover up the light gray a lot. I just kind of want to put a little bit more on there. Okay, so then I'm going to do this. I'm going to come down here like so and like so. And then I'll take my brush again and I'll just kind of do a dashed line up and down that light shading, light gray. So let me turn this around. And already you can kind of see that my piece is starting to look, I don't know, finished maybe is the right word, better, more decorated, however you want to look at that. So, also wanted just to remind you while I'm thinking about it, Ashley's been cleaning out a lot of the files on the Painters Club. And so if there are videos that you can't find, which most of you, I understand, we have so many videos that going through Facebook and trying to find the one you want, you'd have to scroll a lot. And so Ashley's taken a lot of those off, but you can feel free to go to, all of our videos are on YouTube. Let's see. Christy says, how do you make sure the outline doesn't cover all the shading paint? Maybe I'm too heavy-handed. Exactly. So 2 things, Christy. Make sure if you're covering up the shading gray and you don't want to, if you can, make sure you have the smallest script liner brush. That's number 1. Maybe your script liner brush is too big. Or number 2, back off the pressure. I have a tendency, it's been my whole life, I have like a heavy hand, right? And so that's just what I've always done. And sometimes I have to really kind of back off and make myself just come over here and make it, I consciously have to tell myself, pick that brush up off the board a little bit because you're just too heavy. You have too much pressure on it. And I've known people who naturally, they just have a very, very, very light hand. And I think, oh, that is so beautiful. How come I can't do that? I don't know, y'all. I just don't have a light hand. And maybe it's because I've always painted bigger stuff, and I've always painted yard art, and so to see it outside, if you don't put some paint on there, I don't think people can see the definition of what you're doing. So definitely pick up that paint. Like right now when I'm doing this, Christy, I am barely touching the board. I mean, barely touching it. So much so that probably just 1 or 2 hairs on that brush are the one touching it, not the whole brush. Now, of course, now on the perimeter, you do want out here a little bit of heavier a heavier line than what you want here. You want a real thin, thin, thin line here and a little bit heavier there. But so much of that is really determined by how much pressure you put on your brush. So if it's too wide, back off. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of weird, I guess. You know, some people, they just naturally have a very light hand. And so for them, they don't really have that. It's kind of like handwriting, y'all. Hold on, I gotta turn this on. Oh, how come my blow dryer ain't working? Oh, y'all, I gotta plug it in. I guess it'd help if you plug it in. All right, let's try that. So I'm gonna dry this a little bit so I can put some shading purple on here. And what I'm gonna do on this, I am not, could it be my shading isn't wide enough? That's true too. So when you're shading with, Debbie, like, this is a dirty brush, it's got paint on it. But when you're shading with your brush and you want to make sure that you're bearing down, when I first started really getting serious about painting, let's see if I can show y'all this, because I think this might help you. When I first started getting serious about painting, my mother-in-law lived in Fort Worth at the time, and she was a very accomplished painter. And she would come down and, you know, try to help me and teach me and stuff like that. And like sometimes, because they were retired at the time, they might stay for 2 or 3 weeks. And so she'd be out in my art room. This was back when I was outside in the back of the property in my art room, not up here. And by the time she would leave, I would notice that all my shading brushes were different. And so I really started to try to pay attention to what the heck is going on. Whenever I watch her shade, I hope y'all can, I'm gonna get real close. So whenever, this is how I would shade. You see how much, that's about what I would do when I would shade. You see how much pressure I have? Well, when she came, this is what but she was an accomplished painter. She was a much better painter than I ever was. And what she would do is this. She would have that thing bared down so hard. I don't know if you can see it. So by the time she painted for 2 or 3 weeks in my art room, I could feel my brushes just kind of curved, right? And so that taught me, after, you know, really, really observing that, now I shade pretty hard, okay? So if you're shading and the tips of your brushes are just touching that board, you might want to try bearing down a little bit harder, because a lot of it is, the width of your stroke is going to depend, a lot of it is going to depend on the pressure that you put. To me, this is real heavy pressure right here, and this is almost no pressure. So I probably do about like that. That's probably what I do. So I tend to put a lot of pressure on there. So good point, Debbie. That could be exactly what the issue is. So on your shading color, in this case, that number 24 gray, if you're wanting to make sure that you've got a wide stroke on there, put some pressure on there. Put some pressure on your brush, and then come back with your script liner in that darker color and start with a light hand. Because what I hear y'all saying is you want kind of like what I have right here, where this shading gray shows over outside underneath that dark gray. But yeah, so my mother-in-law, when she would come, she painted, I don't know, I guess you could say differently than I did. She painted stuff for the house inside. She really didn't paint yard art. And she would kind of complain when she came down, because she'd be like, man, how do you paint all this big stuff? And, you know, because she really wasn't used to it. She's used to the littler stuff. So it seems so wide on your shading. Well, I tell you what, Debbie, whenever we do that April 10th, I hope you're coming, right? When we do that April 10th, that's part of what we'll be doing, the paint party for the Academy. When you come in, let's look at what you're doing, and maybe I can kind of look over your shoulder and give you some pointers, you know, some do's and don'ts, or give you my thoughts on that. So those of you in the Academy, if you haven't already, make sure you let us know if you're coming to the April 10th painting party, because we need to, okay, Debbie will be there, good. So, because we need to make sure we have enough blanks for everybody. And if you're coming from out of town and you can't base coat your blank, let us know that and we'll do it for you. I'll put a little bit drying time on here. I have a lot of purple paint right here. I probably should have gotten my heat gun out. I have a heat gun which puts out a lot of heat, not as much air. This puts out a lot of air. So sometimes a heat gun can be kind of crazy. You got to be careful with that thing. So I'm just putting some paint on that tip, right? And then I'm going to, and this is really too wet, so we're just going to pretend that it's not. And I'm going to come up here, and you can see what I'll do is after the video and after this dries, I'll come back in here and fill some of this back in. But just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to come up here. And what you can always do too, and I do this a lot, it just really depends on the look you're going for. And what I'll do tonight is I will post some photos in here of the finished product so you can kind of see it. I'll try to do some closer ones too. Let me do this. This side I think is a little bit drier, even though it is still too wet, y'all. I'm gonna go down. A lot of times what I do is I skip the black, which is what I'm gonna do on here, and I'm gonna show you that in just a second. It really just depends on the look you're going for. There's no right or wrong, okay? Let me try this. I'm gonna get my script liner. And I think y'all have seen me do this before, but I'm gonna pick up this small script liner. And I'm just using my shading color. I'm not gonna use black, okay? And I'm going to use that script liner to get a real heavy coat or heavy line, if you will, of this shading purple. There we go. And I'll probably wait for the rest of, and I'll finish this later on tonight after it's had a chance to dry better. And I'll doctor it up, so to speak, y'all. Something like that. Let me come over here. And I think what I'm gonna do after this has had a chance to dry, oh well, y'all. You see these two parts right here? It's kind of like the sash that's behind the cross. That I'm going to probably just cover it up with all shading purple to kind of make it recess towards the back some. That's probably what I'm gonna do, but I can't do that right now. Patty says, I love to watch you paint. Oh, thank you, Patty. I love to paint. And I would remember, y'all, my daughter, y'all know Ashley, I think she's 30. She's gonna be 34, I guess. And I can remember some of our best talks were, you know, when you're raising kids, you have to kind of let them be in the mood to talk. Well, teenagers especially, because, you know, they're full of hormones and, you know, they don't necessarily want you in their business, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And some of my best memories of both of my kids talking to me was when I was painting, because they would come out. I was painting in the back of the property when they were growing up. I had a little art room back there. It's still back there. It's just Bruce's shack, I guess, his man cave. And I would just be painting and they would come in and they would, if they were in the mood, you know, they'd come find me and they would talk and just tell me about their day or, you know, inform me or something. And I always would just keep painting. I wouldn't, you know, most of the time I wouldn't stop. I would just kind of keep painting, and that way they just kind of felt there was really no pressure. They just come and talk to me, and that's some of my best memories of my kids is I would just be painting up a storm. And they would come out and tell me, you know, whatever it was that was on their mind. And I would just keep painting. And I'd listen to them. And those are sometimes the... Kimberly says, I'm painting too, but mostly spring stuff. Yeah. Well, there is a lot to do with the spring stuff. I saw your butterfly and your little frog, Kim. And I thought they were so cute. And... so I'm just kind of putting some shading here. I'm sorry, highlighting on that purple sash. And once this is dry, I think I'm gonna put this whole part and this whole part in dark purple to kind of make that recess a little bit more. But I'm putting some light or some white highlights on my He Is Risen letters. Yeah, so some of my best memories of my kids, you know, telling me how their day was or what was going on. And I would just never stop painting, but I would, you know, take it all in and listen. Of course, they're grown now, but it was just a good way for them to say what was on their mind without feeling a lot of pressure from me, because I just kind of acted like, oh, okay. And didn't really, you know, I think sometimes kids don't want to say anything to parents because they're like, they don't want the parents to freak out. you know, and so sometimes as parents, I think the more calm we are, the better. And that's not always easy. She says she's doing a bee and a dragonfly. Okay. Yeah, because we have sold quite a bit of those butterflies and dragonflies that we brought in last year. And but I was saying, if y'all can't find videos that you're looking for, Ashley's taken a lot of them down because we just had so many on our Facebook Painters Club group. If y'all can't find them, they are on YouTube and there's a lot on YouTube. But what I tried to do on YouTube, there's a thumbnail of the photo of every video. So if you're looking for the dragonfly on that thumbnail, you should see a picture of the dragonfly. So you can kind of scroll through there real quickly and look for the photo of the one that you're looking for. And also, I forgot this, but if you guys could always show us some love back here and help us out by doing that, we would appreciate it. And that really helps us as a business. So let me show you. So I have He Is Risen. First of all, I forgot to tell you, I did 2 coats of white here. I shaded in the number 25 gray, and then I added some black to that gray and outline. These are 13 light yellow, outlined in 14 shading yellow. That's all there is. I'm gonna make this a dull, solid shading purple, that solid shading purple, but it's gotta dry first. But let me get it back here so y'all can kind of get a better view of it back here. Oh Lord, so you can kind of see. But I think it turned out cute. It's just a little bit different version on what Ashley did. She did hers with brown and the dry brushing and the shading brown. So anyway, I will take some pictures of this and post it in the comments later. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. The videos in the yard page, when you click an item, you can see the details. That's where you've been going. Okay, so that's good to know. You've been going on to the Facebook yard art page, or Painters Club page. Okay. Yeah, sometimes we just have to really hunt and peck and look and search, and we're trying to make that easier. So I put everything on YouTube as well. Well, thank you, Kim. I like the white too. It's just a very different look. And that's the cool thing about painting. So when Ashley said she was painting, I'm going to do this same thing, and probably in a video in the next few days, but it's where the He Is Risen is going across. This is He Is Risen the vertical, but y'all know that we had the blank where He Is Risen going across. Oh, on the website. Kim, I'm so glad you said that because I had spent some time. We have a web guy. He doesn't do the work, but he trains me on how to do it. So I go in and I embed those videos on the website, Yard Art or Us, because to me, it's the one place that you can go and buy the blank if you want it and watch the video if you want it right there. So we're going to continue doing that because I think that that is helpful. So the videos are on our page on Facebook, they're on YouTube, and they're on yardartorus.com website. Okay, Debbie says her too. Good to know, because I've been doing that because I thought that was going to make more sense. You know, the point is for you to find it quickly and easily without having to look everywhere. That's the point. So hopefully you want it as easy as can be to find, and I agree with that. Thank y'all for letting me know that. So I'll be on one day this week where I'll be doing this same kind of look where the He Is Risen is going horizontally. So if you have one that's going, the He Is Risen is going horizontally this way, I'll be on later to do that one. Probably be the next few days. So hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for hanging out with me. And we will see y'all soon. Also, all the Academy members, don't forget, let us know if you're coming on April 10th. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.